Sean Franklin
and Nicole Smith
from Blood and Iron Martial Arts.
We're here today to introduce you to Historical Dagger.
First of all, what does a historical dagger look like?
Naturally, spanning several centuries and many different cultures, there's a lot of variation.
But the one we're most interested in, and the one that's most often depicted in historical martial arts manuals, is the rondel dagger.
The first thing you're going to notice is it's rather long, and that's because it was mostly designed as a thrusting weapon rather than a cutting one. Typically, these dagger attacks begin with a downward descending strike, usually in an ice-pick style grip.
Why is this? Well, number one, consider they're usually wearing much thicker clothing than your average street clothes of modern times. So just standing there, slashing at the clothing, it's going to be a largely ineffective fighting style.
Additionally, it's not really the kind of weapon that you would use squared off against your opponent in an honorable fight. This was very much a sneak attack, stab your guy in the back alley.
The other good application is when fighting in full armor. The dagger allows you to exploit small gaps very effectively. And it'll freeze your limbs up to do other things such as control them, grapple, throw, or any arm-breaky goodness we all know and love. A common dagger defense is to deflect the downward strike on the inside using your offhand.
Notice I do this with my entire body, not just with my arm. Additionally, if this is done correctly, I'll already be starting to break his structure to the outside. I can continue this and have his dagger on my elbow. Makes it easier to disarm him. The other way to approach this is from the outside.
From this position, you can hook and control the dagger, and then wrench downwards.
And from here, you pretty much control the fight and stab him at will.
Using a longer dagger also allows you to use your offhand on the blade.
This can be used to reinforce your guard position.
It can also lead to the creation of some interesting locks.
There are many historical manuals out there, and they all have recurring themes and techniques.
After all, when you're all using a similar tool, well, you tend to come up with some pretty similar solutions.
However, that doesn't preclude someone from coming up with something a little different. Carrying a dagger was very common in medieval Europe. In fact, there are very few sources for unarmed fighting with punches and kicks. It didn't happen all that much.
What you do see is either wrestling, going unarmed against the dagger, or dagger versus dagger. It'll really change how you approach the situation if you're assuming the other person has one of these on them.
The differences between historical self-defense and modern self-defense is a whole topic on its own. But for now, we hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit more of what sword fighting actually looked like. And a special thank you to our Patreon supporters with their 1 thumbs up
and our 2 thumbs up. Terrible.
But that's what makes it good.